And welcome back to a very special Super Bowl episode of Everyman Driver. I am Dave Erickson, so glad you're watching. In honor of Super Bowl 48 between the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, which happens to be the first ever outdoor Super Bowl in a cold weather state, we are here at the Spokane ORV Park on a snowy afternoon to test drive the 2014 Honda Pilot four-wheel drive touring trim level. Now, we've already done a detailed drive and review of this vehicle. We've also done a dry off-road detailed review of this vehicle. You can find those both in the playlist below under Honda Car Reviews. So today is all about having fun with this Honda Pilot in the snowy off-road conditions, plus tell you about my predictions for Super Bowl 48. Let's get started. All right, off we go, taking on the Spokane ORV Park. I've done this a number of times now with different vehicles, and the Pilot has been one of the most successful so far, and I have no doubt we're gonna have another great time here today. And it's also Super Bowl week. And I am from the Washington State area, so of course I'm going to be cheering for the Seattle Seahawks, although I'm not sure if they're actually going to win. We'll talk about my predictions and how I think that game's going to play out. But in the meantime, this vehicle comes in 4 trim levels. You have the LX, EX, EXL, and Touring trim level, and we have the top tier, the Touring. I'm going to head down this first decline, which is pretty steep, and some major moguls, but we have a pretty decent amount of ground clearance in this vehicle. In fact, we have 7.9 inches of ground clearance to be exact. So heading down this hill with a few little moguls, no problem at all. Not too long ago, we did a detailed drive and review of the 2014 Lexus LX 570, and that vehicle had an 8.9 inches of ground clearance. That thing just tore this course up. Didn't have as much snow back then, and when I did the review here off-road when it was dry in the Honda Pilot, had no problem at all. But so today will be a little bit more of a challenge because I can't quite see where these dips are, and I don't know about the traction. We have all-season tires on our tester here with 18-inch wheels, so I do wish we had snow tires, but that's not the case. As a journalist, I just get these vehicles as is, so I can't really ask them, hey, would you throw on some snow tires? This is just the reality. All right, if I get the right amount of speed, I should be able to make it up this first climb. Pretty snowy, not a lot of traction, not a lot of previous vehicles went up here, but if I get enough speed, I should be okay. And that really is the key. Whoa! That really is the key, I think, to off-roading is speed control. All right, 1 for 1. This vehicle comes in 2-wheel and 4-wheel drive options. Fortunately, we have the 4-wheel drive option. We also have variable torque management, which I don't know if I'll use today because it's best used in dirt, sand, and those kind of things. So I don't know if the traction or the torque will come into play when we're dealing with snowy conditions. We may test it, I'm not quite sure yet. But I love this off-road course. There is so much variety out here. And today I already saw 3 other vehicles coming out here, a couple of Jeeps, even a Durango. It looks like 3 buddies just having fun out in the snow. And that's what this is all about too, is just having some fun. And this being a Super Bowl special themed episode, I want to tell you about the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos, at least from my point of view. You got the #1 offense, the Broncos, with Peyton Manning heading against the #1 defense with Richard Sherman leading the bunch in the secondary. And Russell Wilson, the second-year quarterback out of Seattle, doing a really great job with the Seahawks. Some have likened him to Fran Tarkenton, a guy who scrambles but also looks to throw the ball. And it's going to be a great matchup. And I think statistically, only 4 or 5 teams have met in the Super Bowl in which one was the best offense and one was the best defense. And each time, or 3 out of 4 times, the defense has won. We'll see. All right, here comes hill number 2. And it looks like we got some fresh tracks here. This is always a gimme coming up this hill. As again, no problemo. All right, we're gonna go back down the hill we just climbed. Whoa, holy bleep. All right, where were we? Looks like right here. Okay, let's go ahead and shift this into second or into 2. Hit our variable torque management system. It's locked. This variable torque management system senses a traction loss caused by road conditions changing. So they say don't do this on dry paved roads, but it's best when you are, if you're stuck in the mud, sand, or gravel. It doesn't say anything about snow. So actually I'm just hitting the brake right now. I have not hit the gas. I'm not going in neutral. I'm in the brake in number 2, sliding down. Well, it's really hard to tell because all the snow is killing us. But I think you can see right now how well the Pilot handles in snowy off-road conditions. Tell you what, I'll keep it in 2 and head over here to the left. This will be a little challenging. We've got some obstacles to our right. Looks like we have some tracks here. I gotta get the speed going. I don't want to stop because I probably won't be able to get going again. But we have some trees on the right. Let's avoid that one. We don't want to buy this vehicle just now. Oh, look at the diversity in the terrain. I like it. This is good. Ooh. Man, I like this Pilot. One of my favorites. No frills. Just a blue collar vehicle. There we go. All right. Back to the Seahawks versus the Broncos. Now this is the big challenge that I think that the Seattle Seahawks will have against a very explosive, powerful offense led by Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning is such a student of the game, and you know, if you notice him come up to the line, he yells his Omaha. Everyone hears him yell Omaha. But what he's doing, he's reading the defense. And then he does that first Omaha and recognizes what they do, and then he's changing the play right there at the line of scrimmage. He is so good at identifying weaknesses and mismatches that he can pick apart and find the best position or best player to throw to, which is going to be so challenging for Seattle not to give away their schemes. I think the Seahawks will have to really stop him to make a stand in the Super Bowl 48, but they need more offensive power from Russell Wilson and Marshawn Lynch, and they do have a couple question marks in the receiving core. Percy Harvin's been injured most of the year, concussion in the playoffs, had that hip injury early in the season, and now he's back. He's what they call the X Factor. You don't know how healthy and how good he'll be. So the Broncos defense will have to play to that, and that might be the deciding factor, someone like Percy Harvin. But I think the Seahawks will have to do a lot more scoring if they want to keep up with the high-powered offense of the Denver Broncos. God forbid someone gets injured, I think it's going to be a Bronco victory, even though Seahawks are my team and they're the best defense. They say defense wins championships, and out here, four-wheel drive is the victor over off-road terrain, and that seems to be the case today. Gas mileage in the Pilot isn't something to write home about. I averaged in the, I think it was the low 16s last time I did the detailed drive and review of this, although on the highway, on longer trips, I was averaging 18 or 19 miles per gallon in mixed driving. So that's what you can kind of expect. It's not one of those cars that you buy because it has great fuel economy. It is one of those vehicles you buy, though, if you like a three-row utility vehicle. This is really nice about this car. It's got 3 rows and plenty of cargo volume. If you have the second row seats down and the third row seats down, you're looking at 87 cubic feet of volume back here. I like that a lot. You can put some bicycles back there, a pair of mountain bikes, all the luggage you can think of, boxes, and towing capacity is not too bad either. I believe it's around 5,000 pounds, so you have some versatility and variety with the Honda Pilot. All right, what do you say? Which one do we go up? There's 3 different aisles here to our front. I think I'll take the center one. Again, speed is key. Oh, moguls. Okay, speed. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, dog. There we go. Whew. That was close. That was a close one. So what will the final score be in Super Bowl 48 between the Seahawks and the Broncos? You know, some of the experts aren't predicting a very high-scoring game because you have, you know, hey, it's a Super Bowl. Everyone wants to be careful. This is the last game of the season. This is for all the marbles. How do they play? Do they play conservative? You don't want to get out of your comfort zone. Stick to your game plan. I think it might be a fairly low-scoring game. I think maybe the winning team will score 4 touchdowns in that range or less. It could be one of those 21-24 final score games. And I think that might be the case here. It'll probably be probably a couple of field goals from one team and one field goal from another team. So I guess I'm kind of dancing around the issue, but I'm gonna go 24-21. Seahawks, go Seahawks. And that is my prediction for Super Bowl 48. Well, I hope you enjoyed this off-road test drive in the 2014 Honda Pilot 4-wheel drive touring trim level. As far as price, you're looking at a base price of just over $41,000, about $42,000 with taxes and delivery. I think it's a great value. Check out my detailed drive and review of this car on the Everyman Driver YouTube channel. I also have a section of off-road reviews, a whole playlist right there. You can see the over half dozen vehicles that I've driven off-road here at this park and see how they've done. Some are all-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. I did one that was a front-wheel drive. That was a mistake, but check that one out. Of course, a detailed review on this under the Honda Car Review playlist. Until next time, I'm Dave Erickson with this special Super Bowl episode of Everyman Driver. We'll see you next time.